Good morning, everybody. I'm Ed Parco here with Bobby Atkins. How you doing, Bobby?
Doing excellent, man. How about you?
Can't complain. I say that every week, don't I?
Yeah.
Every day. Can't complain. I can complain, but nobody listens. All right, before the show, we're kind of talking about there was a Housing Wire article put out last week, and it said first-time home buyers need to earn $64,500 to afford a typical starter home. And I was asking you what that price point you think was, and it was shocking. You came up with $243,000 right on the top of your head. So basically, the problem is that starter home is nowhere to be found in Stanislaus County.
No. I actually
Maybe an 800 square foot house or 400.
I was gonna say I have seen homes in that price point. How it'd be a cash only.
Right. So it's a total tear down and start back over. Right.
You're buying the land.
Yeah. To do something else with. So that's nationwide. So if you look here locally, we have found that pretty close to, you got to make $100,000 a year to buy anything that you want to live at minimally in our area.
Correct. Yeah.
Unless you have no car payments, no debt, no nothing, then you can probably get that down to about 80,000. But again, a lot of people are shocked at how much you have to make in order to own a home in our area. I think a lot of people just didn't realize back, when the rates were so low at 2% and whatever, you could get in for 50,000 to 60,000. Now you can't. It's 20 grand to 40 grand higher. Yeah. And when you're looking to go buy a home, you need to really know what you make. You need to know where your debt is, and you need to know what you need to do. Like maybe get a better job. And that's not coming out wrong. When there's 9 million jobs out there, maybe you look, what can I do to get to my next step so I can get into home ownership? Because it is the ultimate goal. You want to own your own home. You don't want to rent forever. But if you can't do it today, how do you get there? What are the steps to get there? First, go get my book at getedsbook.com or call me and I'll send you one.
Yeah.
But the most important thing is know where you are. Your credit. If your credit's good, then you got that. Now when you look at your income, what do you need to do with your income to get it to where you need to be able to afford that home you want?
Exactly. Right.
Well,
and like you were talking about with debt, like we take on a certain amount of debt. Like we say, okay, well, car loan's acceptable because I need a car for transportation. I need to get to and from work. And then everyone has well, not everyone, but probably everyone has one credit card, right, that they're using to try and build their credit. Hopefully they haven't done it the wrong way and ran it up and then now are slowly paying it off, right?
Well, hopefully, but some things happen in life, and sometimes those things happen even though you don't try to, because things happen in life.
For sure.
Right. We're no judgment zone, so that's why I threw that in there.
Oh, well, okay. I was gonna say I don't have any credit cards because I ran one up when I was young and it took me 5 years to pay off. So I know everyone gets on me like, you got to have some kind of credit card to keep.
Well, you do, but you just have to have somebody else make those payments for you. Have your wife take that over.
Like I say, now I'm responsible enough, right? But
I don't know. I'm very irresponsible, but so I have to have other people handle my stuff.
I'm the finance guy in my house. So
see, I'm the sales guy. Yeah. So sales guys don't do well with other stuff.
My wife just says, "Hey, you deal with it. Tell me what I can spend." I say, "Okay, that's easy."
Yeah. Nothing. How am I supposed to feed them? I don't care. Figure it out.
I say $20.
Grow it. Grow it in the backyard. Is that steer ready to go into slaughter?
Yeah.
That's how we did as a kid. When I was a kid, my mom, we raised 2 steers, one to slaughter and one to sell to pay for the slaughtering of the other. That's how.
Yeah.
Yeah. We raised every animal there possibly could be.
Man, I just had some fresh beef a couple weeks ago at a buddy's barbecue because they just had their steer slaughtered. And it was good, man. And he told the butcher to go ahead and make sure it was 80-20. So there's some extra fat in there,
Well, you're talking about hamburger.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and again, it just depends. That's why I liked hunting, going up and getting my own venison and other stuff. Cause Marcia used to make this chili and it was amazing. It was wild boar, venison, and then, beef.
Wow. All the meats.
And it was freaking amazing. People were like, oh, this is so amazing. She took it to work one time. Oh gosh, this is so good. What is it? It's chili. What's in it? And she tells them we had venison and wild boar.
You killed the piggy and the deer, huh?
Oh my goodness. So bad. But again, it's, just, I don't know how we got on food, but anyway, because I could be here forever because I love, Traegering stuff. And now my wife goes, well, you say it's so easy, so it's not really counted as cooking. I'm like,
oh snap.
Yeah. Just because it takes me 4 hours to cook a tri-tip.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I do it really low and slow. So, but those things you cut it and it just, it's so tender. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But anyway, off of food, back to where we
Oh yeah,
were.
what were we talking about?
I don't remember because I got raising animals to get by for your budgets. And again, we look at you need to adjust certain things. And maybe you got into trouble because you're working in an industry and all of a sudden that industry failed. Like one could say our industry, right? You're doing really well. You're doing all the stuff to do certain things to build your business, your brand or whatever. And all of a sudden they turn off the spigot, which is something they have not done in 20 years, the way that they've done it now.
Yeah.
This is one of the worst industries we've been in 20 some years.
That always gives me confidence. Well, I should say that's always reassuring, right? Because you say, man, it just seems like there's not much moving right now.
And this is, well, the problem is we've never been in a situation where we put people on interest rates. They don't want to do anything afterwards.
Yeah.
That's the difference. That's where we're at. We put people in those industries, interest rates that they never wanted to now do things. And I knew that was going to happen when I was putting all these people in these lower interest rates as I was, and the problem was we weren't making as much on each one of those transactions because it was refinanced and it was much lower loan amounts. And so you do so many of them, you're like, oh, I'm doing so much business. But then you look at your bank account and you're like, oh, I did pretty good.
Yeah.
Not as good as I thought it would have been if those were all purchases right now. I'm just saying it's just a totally different world. So you have to be careful. I'm just saying you never know. And that's why they say don't take on any debt. But then how do you build certain things if you don't take on debt?
Correct.
Because according to some of the great people out there, they say debt is the best thing to have.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's people loan you money, use their money, and you pay them off. You get the write-off. But, until you get into that moment where you can't make that payment.
Yeah. Yeah. And then it goes bye-bye, right?
Well, and what I told somebody else is do not make a late payment on your mortgage. You can do on all your credit cards, all that kind of stuff, right? Because that'll get fixed over time. But your mortgage, it's really, you can't have a late in the last 12 months. So if you needed to do anything, you can have lates on your credit cards. It's going to affect your FICO score, but it's not going to affect you with the refinancing part or whatever you're looking at. But it will, if you get out on that mortgage, it's really going to affect you for 12 months, 24 months.
Yeah.
So focus on keeping the mortgage clean.
Well, and something to think about too, like if you have a vehicle that's paid off, but it's having some kind of issues,
sell it to somebody else. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, sell it quickly and don't tell them. No, I was going to say in this market, it makes sense to go ahead and do the repairs, even if they're expensive ones.
Go get that insurance.
We live in such a disposable society, right? People think like, oh, the transmission went out, just get rid of the car. Let's get a new car. Yeah,
but you're going to get nothing for the car if you're going to get rid of it. Right, with the bad transmission.
Like I'm saying, if your car is paid off, just I don't know. My philosophy has always been ride it till the wheels fall off.
Right, but I mean, prime example when we bought our daughter Sydney. So everybody drove the 1990 Ford F-150 lifted 4x4 at high school, except for Sydney, because she couldn't push the clutch all the way and she missed it by that much.
Gotcha.
She couldn't engage it. So we bought her a car that was through somebody who we got him at the auction, right, and we paid I think $5,000 for it. She drove that thing until a couple things happened to it, and it was going to cost more than the car was worth.
Okay. Yeah. Depending on the age. Yeah.
Right. And so, no, just as it was not that old of a car. It wasn't. It was 10 years ago, and it was a 2008.
Okay.
But it was because of that's what the car was worth. What we paid for and what it's worth, it was going to cost more to fix it than it was worth. So I donated it to my mechanic. He was going to fix it and donate and then sell it and take that money for their horse thing they were doing.
Gotcha.
So, we got money for that. So we bought her, helped her buy a new car, and that she drove that until she wrecked it.
Yeah.
Or somebody hit her.
That's okay. I was going to say, no hard feelings, huh?
No, not at all. Somebody hit her, but
gotcha.
Anyway, and then she had to get a new one, but that was not on us. That was on her then.
But, kind of tying back to what we first started talking about.
Where we were going.
Yeah. Well, happen to earn $100,000 a year or having no debt, right?
Right.
So,
okay. Yeah. That's where we were. And then we got on cars.
Yeah. Cars and food, man. You can
and fix things. Should you fix them? And I believe in that. So my truck, I'm never going to get rid of my truck. Right. Because I love it. Just drives so well.
Yeah.
It's a diesel too. It'll last forever.
Oh yeah. But, so I am putting on Financial Peace University. I'm co-leading it with my friend Annette. So if anyone's interested, just give me a call 209-550-1087, because that is going to be the key to being a homeowner in the market, just continuing, right? Because you and I both know that rates are never going to drop down, to the 2s or the 3s.
No,
right?
we'll probably get down to 4.5, 5.
Yeah.
If we get any lower than that, it'll just be some luck of the draw. It depends on when we go in a recession,
but
or if we do.
Getting your finances in order is good, even if you're not planning on buying a home right now. I mean, it's such a huge stress relief. The number one reason for divorce is finances. So if that's something you're interested, just give me a call.
Yeah, there's other reasons too, but that is one of the biggest ones.
Hey, when there's no money, you can't pay the bills, man. That's
yeah. Well, and then a lot of it has to do with work and and other things, and you need to focus on each other and kid. A lot of times people have kids before they're ready to have kids or before they whatever, and I think that's one of the biggest struggles too. Because now you have I tell people it's not the marriage that changes, it's that first kid, it's that second kid, it's that third kid. It's just that additional stress that's put on the relationship, because the money that used to be made by the spouse or somebody else is not there anymore. And so, or what's daycare going to cost? What's this going to cost? So there's a lot of stuff you need to plan for that I don't think people plan for.
Yeah.
And that's all I was getting at. It was the whole thing. You need to start planning, but people don't like planning.
No, a lot of people shoot from the hip. Now, I would say that, is anyone ever really ready for kids, right? That's one of those things that you could.
I don't know. I'm ready to get rid of them. So they got rid of them. And so, yeah. But even when they move out, they still have issues with them.
Yeah.
They still come back that the parents are ATM.
I'm learning that from my friends with adult children. Mine are still, gosh, I still have.
These have got years, dude.
Yeah.
Years.
7-8 years before the first one you might even think about moving.
Yeah. And 20 years to the last one.
Yeah. Oh, for sure, man. I know my wife just posted this picture. Is hilarious.
Yeah. Well, the question really is, do you really need to move? That is a real question.
Yeah.
You look at and I'm not trying to change the subject, but a lot of people in this market, when you have low interest rates and you think about moving up, the cost of move up with the cost of taxes and everything else can really affect you. And maybe and that's what you really need to look at. The comfort of you and your family versus needing that extra room so much. Right.
Yeah. No, there's a house right around the corner from me where they're doing an addition, So now we talked about that. It's like people are looking at the market. They say, well, I like the neighborhood. I'm happy with my neighbors and everything that goes on around here. Crime's relatively low. And
do you have extra room in your back to add on to that garage?
Oh yeah.
Why do you do that?
Yeah. I mean, I have room.
How big's your lot?
It is 0.17 acres.
Okay, so it's not bad.
No, it's good size. It's older neighborhood.
Which is how many square feet is that?
Good point. I'd have to
10,000. No, because acreage is 43,000, right? 43,000 something square feet.
Yeah, I always convert it back to acres because I know that. I understand that a little bit more.
Right. I know, but most people, I know size of square feet because most my lot of my old house was only 7,500 or 8,000, but by the way they sat our house on the lot made the lot look so big, but all the other neighbors on that side was 5,500 square feet lots.
Gotcha.
Again, I guess we're getting off subject, but it's just, again, that's why a lot of people are going, do I really need to move up? And that's why we only have 30% of the people existing home sales on the market, and we're short 2.5 million homes in California alone.
Yeah.
We're never going to increase this, because I was on a podcast last week and they were like, tell me, how come we're not going to, and I tell them numbers and they're like, wow, and I talked about this earlier this week I saw a TikTok where some guy said the Airbnb market's going to destroy the single family home market. Airbnb crashing and coming back on the market. I'm going, unless there's over 2.5 million of them in California, it's not going to affect anything in California. I understand Austin's having an issue. Well, that has to do with taxes, Airbnb, and other issues, and cost of homes and other stuff in that area. Most people can't afford to live there. That has nothing to do with Airbnb destroying the market. It has to do with the fact that people bought wrong, and it just depends. It's not going to unless there's 17 million of them nationwide, it's not going to affect us, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm gonna say we have such a unique situation in California, right? But here's something I've thought about, and I want to get your take on
before
it.
I keep that thought, because didn't you tell me that Tahoe they had new restrictions on Airbnbs up there, and a lot of them came on the market, and allowed people to buy a home, but it didn't flood the market to where it was too many of them, right?
No.
Okay. Yeah.
No, and that was about a year and a half ago.
Right.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. So all these states that California's ran to, right? Texas, Florida, Tennessee, those are the main ones, right?
Mm-hmm.
What I'm curious to see in a year, 2 years from now is
how many are back?
well, not only that, but like how many, say, oh, you know what, there's just not the economy here for me to find a job that supports this mortgage payment. Are we going to see a bunch of short sales in these states where everyone ran to?
I don't think we're going to see a bunch of short sales, but I see people moving back. I think the problem is people move to places thinking it was going to be better. And then because my neighbor that just bought the house down the street from us, she was in Tennessee, and I was talking to her and I said, how was it? She goes, well, I've been living there and she goes, it was horrible.
Okay. And what was
she goes, the biggest problem is like during the summer, you have this beautiful backyard and you can't use it. Nobody wants to be out there because it's just miserable. Like you go to set up your little table out there and you're like, can we go inside? It's humid and bugs and other stuff that people don't think about. And we've been saying this forever. Texas, the biggest problem in Texas is the taxes. A lot of people are selling their condo places and, all their investment properties because their taxes doubled in a couple of years. Yeah. And now it doesn't pencil. And people don't realize, Texas didn't go up that much in value until Californians moved there. It's just like Idaho. Idaho didn't go up in value until all the Californians moved there and sold their house out here and paid cash for certain properties and moved up the value so much. And they're having issues there. And that's what we did from California moving somewhere else. But I see a lot of people going, this just didn't make any sense for me. I like, someone said, it's like being at a concert. The closer you are to the stage, the more expensive the seats are. And that's how California is. We're closer to the stage of the Pacific Ocean, which means we get cold air in the evenings in the summer, which other places don't get. Yeah. Right. So we get that Delta breeze that comes through here and knocks us down. If we're at 95 today, we're going to be 66 in the morning.
Yeah.
Other places don't have that change. You're 90 today and we're 80 today and we were 78 last night. Yeah. It just doesn't. And that what you're saying about Arizona.
Yeah.
The cold, there's no cold water. It's all warm water because it's so hot.
Yeah.
Well, it never cools off. I can't, when we walk out in the summer here and it was 110 today, we might only get down to 71, but it's 70. That's a huge change. That's 40 degrees overnight.
Yeah.
Other places don't have that. And that all has to do with air. And the closer you are to the ocean, the cooler it is and the nicer it is. And that's all the way up the coast, right? Washington, Oregon, all those places.
Yeah.
And so that's why we're expensive, but it's not that much cheaper moving to somewhere else.
Well, yeah. When you're talking about the taxes in Texas, I was thinking about people who might have like sold their house to retire there.
Mm-hmm.
Are they going to have to sell just because they can't afford taxes?
Well, every 10 years, your taxes are doubling. So it depends on how long you're still here.
Yeah.
Right. If you bought a $500,000 house, and then every year your house is going up by, just say 50,000, then your taxes are going up 10% of that. So your taxes are going up $500 every year.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's going to be unsustainable long term.
Yeah.
At least if you want to stay retired or, if your income's not increasing.
Yeah. And actually, say that's 1%, isn't it? $500, 1%. So yeah, 10% is more than that. That's 5,000, right? Yeah. Hold on here. If my house value goes up 5,000, 10, what did I say? 50,000, right?
Yeah,
each
50,000,
year. Times point.
Yeah, so it should be $5,000, right?
Yeah. So your taxes are going up. The value that you pay on is going up to $5,000 each year, and the tax rate is at 3%. So it's 100. That's only 150. So, but that's not what happened. They doubled. Right, their values went up that much.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's. It's still. We go up a little bit, but that's 50,000. That's a 10% increase. Well, most places only go up 5% a year, but I have friends there that go like every 10 years, your actual property taxes double.
See, I think just countrywide, man, they should make some kind of legislation that says like, if you're a senior and you're retired on a fixed income, your property taxes cannot go up if you own your home, right?
If it's paid off, they should do that because there's places like Spain and other places that you don't pay any property taxes once you get old.
Yeah. I think that's fair, man. Cause
I think it's ridiculous that we have to pay as much taxes as we do.
Yeah.
But don't get me started. We could be here another 20 minutes.
Yeah, no kidding, man.
This is long enough for today.
Yeah.
So people follow. But the most important thing is get on a budget, plan for your future, understand what it's going to take to own a home, and start planning for that. Should I worry about the values are going up faster than that? No, because you might get a job where you can make more money, and that's what you need to focus on. Go become a nurse. Nurses start off at Kaiser first year over 80 to 100 grand.
Yeah.
If not more than that. I was just trying to be under a little bit. It's just ridiculous what nurses make.
Well,
go become a nurse. In California, not any other state that pays like California.
To look at this from a positive perspective, right? This is the market that's going to motivate you to really kind of get your finances in order. And like you said, look for that job that if you're not making the money you need to, then either we're going to decide we want to be renters forever and slowly get priced out of the market indefinitely, or find a better paying job.
Right. And do it before the rest of your generation wakes up.
Yeah.
Because they're horrible at working. And if they wake up and go, hey, I'm going to be a real good producer today and whatever, because I don't even know, they have new courses out for companies to teach their employees how to have etiquette at work now.
Oh,
because
really?
young people don't have etiquette. They don't know how to dress. They don't. I was going to say don't know how to dress. I'm in a t-shirt, but don't know how to dress. Don't know how to talk to people. Don't know how to do other things, and that's a problem. So they have all these programs for them. So you have the time in your generation to be ahead of those people, because once they come out and they start buying more homes, it's going to get worse.
Yeah,
we have this isn't going to get better over the next 10 years. It's going to take 20 years. And then we're going to get hit again by another generation that was the pandemic babies.
Yeah, I have a couple of those.
Yeah, because they're bigger. That's a bigger generation than the baby boomers.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was a huge generation.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not getting better. So you might as well plan for your future. And if it is another state, that's fine. Just be okay with that.
Yeah.
Sometimes people can deal with things the one thing I'll say with the lady who's on my street, she's like, the people who live there have been there forever, don't understand the difference. So they don't get it. That's the problem. If you ever live here and you go live somewhere else, you understand the difference.
Oh, for sure.
All right. Make it a great day, Bobby. Thanks for being here. And thanks for watching. And thank you for being here. If you like to support us, go to our YouTube channels, Real Estate Jerky, Ed Parco, Robert Atkins Realtor, and also Bobby's website, robertatkinsrealtor.com. All right, make it a great day.
Too consistent. It's getting mixed up now.
No, I think I might have said realtor. I don't know.
Oh, that's okay, man. I
tried to actually add in the I there. Messed up 2 weeks ago, and it keeps haunting me. Make it a great day.